Hi all, it's Alan's son. I'm here with my friend Diana, and I'm so excited to talk about just 3 characteristics about Gen Z from Diana's point of view as a Gen Zer. So maybe Diana, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Diana. I'm a third year at UC San Diego, and I'm studying psychology.
Awesome. Diana, what's the characteristic from your own experience about being Generation Z that stands out to you?
Some things that people would say about Gen Z would be that we're always online all the time, like on our phones, checking Instagram, just on our computers, in coffee shops, or like at bus stops, just like staring and like nothing else in the world matters kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's still true? Like you're online all the time, or do you feel like not really?
I think the pandemic made a lot of people like, oh my gosh, we need to get off of our screens. Like I need to see people. But at the same time, I do see that a lot with other people. Like, oh, we're sitting down in the bus, like everyone's on their phone, or we're like out like waiting in line for something, everyone's on their phone, or like people are very like they update their social media every day. It's like you have to have time for that.
Maybe another characteristics or misrepresentation that you've experienced or a thought about Gen Z. It could be around anything like work or about life.
Work-wise, it could be that like we've heard that like Gen Z like just doesn't care too much about what they're doing. They won't do what people usually do, like okay, finish undergrad, find someone, get married, have kids, and then just like get on with their careers. Maybe they'll stay like home for like a lot longer than they're supposed to instead of like getting out once they're 18 and everything. People might think, or like other generations might think, oh yeah, no, they just don't.
Or they're lazy.
They're lazy.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what they're doing, so they're just kind of taking their time, and it's like.
The thing about Gen Z that's so interesting is I think I've made those mistakes. It's just like rushing things for Gen Z, and there's a process that I think Gen Z has been appreciating the slowness of things, not just like rushing into something new, but then also wanting to learn how to be experts at something, like not just do a half job like and just do a full wanting to be fully present, but doing things that you care about. And I don't know if you'd agree with that, but there's a sense of like Gen Z wanting to do things that they do care about. It's like if it's something they care about, then they'll put themselves fully there, sometimes maybe too much, right? Fully in there.
I feel like that's why people have such a harder time like with their sense of purpose and sense of like identity. It's like no, they really care about those two things, so then when they don't see those two things, they get into a really deep rut, and like or like they'll have to deal with some mental health issues and things like that.
And I mentioned it before, but this idea of mental health being such a prominent topic among Gen Z, and the freedom to speak about it. But I think sometimes other generations are like, that's a little weird that you're taking a sick day for mental health, or that's a little weird. Have you ever felt that dissonance with other generations when you talk about mental health? Or?
Yes, very much so. Like with my parents, with like other people, it's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by mental health? Like, are you not thinking okay? Like,
yeah. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like what's wrong with you? It's not. At least my generation maybe like just prioritizes that like language. Maybe.
I know that other generations are just like work hard and then care about your mental health later. But right now, you and others are like saying, hey, how do I take care of myself in the midst of stress and anxiety, maybe from school or whatnot? So I think that's really valuable.
And to deal with burnout too.
Yeah, how to deal with burnout. Is there any maybe last characteristic or thing about Gen Z?
We could talk about how other generations see Gen Z as like super snowflake-like and very just fragile and just breaks with any little thing, with any little criticism, or like they get offended really easily. I'm sure like in my own experience, it'd probably be like, oh, someone just says something and like, or maybe they criticize you or something. Oh, and then you have to take that like mental health day. You know, it's like, oh, they can't take it, or like they'll go on social media and just go crazy instead of being like, so-and-so told me this, like I can't believe it.
I wonder how much is like online, like every comment we take to heart, or that like
take it personally.
We take it personally, and I wonder about that too. But it seems like Gen Z is pretty resilient. I mean, you've gone through a pandemic, you've gone through like in being in school, and there's a sense of resiliency about your generation, but also wanting to find like friends who can just be with you, real with you. And so
and that speaks into like we actually do care about things. just because like we'll take things to heart and we'll be like, okay, is this something that like, should I be angry about this, you know? And then it's like, okay, if it really bothers me, like I'm gonna like acknowledge the feelings and be like, okay, this isn't okay, and so I'm gonna like rant about it or just be upset about it. And,
Yeah. And you versus other generations have an outlet to actually share your thoughts, like on Twitter or, you know, on Instagram, and to say like, look, this is what I'm feeling. And maybe that's part of the mental health stuff, getting it out, like actually sharing it with the community that feels like, okay, we agree.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
it's really
feel
cool.
like I'm not alone in this, like there's other people dealing with it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, Diana. Thanks for your thoughts. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course.